Iowa. Here is the MVP, Brianna. Offense turned it over 25 times. Indiana losing by 21. Ionescu catch and shoot as Jones steps into a
point performance right here. Handling the fish. She's going to be targeted by every
times. New York's had some
position defense I'm talking about.
Summer and Katie Lou Samuelson had it knocked away.
And she leans in just.
Ionescu will fire away
already tonight than they did against.
As Stewart works her way inside to rebound.
Well,
Mondello in her third year in New York is
some of those new fans to the game, Pat. 20
is her way inside. This will be a fun matchup tonight. Here, her last 3 seasons, and not bad. Second most points she scored with the Liberty. And in that run to the final, go her way here in the early going tonight. Smith on the left block.
It's a really good shot blocking front. Lost it defensively. Try to tack on.
3. She'll drive on Clark. Indiana offense last year, 5th in the double opener. Boston.
Well, New York is hedging ball screens with the physicality of Connecticut. They're so good.
Good ball movement. Samuelson's open. Chase Jones around the perimeter as Stewart.
Football show out. And for me, I love it coming here.
Smith with the crossover off balance. Jones from the foul line.
Offensive defense. New York is too efficient.
Ankle injury, still not 100% inside. Spins it over to Boston. It's a tough battle against Brianna. Second-year pro Aaliyah Boston, leading the Indiana Fever. Just minutes with the Liberty. Here's Ionescu. Smith puts it up too strong. Offensive rebound points for Boston as Stewart the other way.
Step-up screen gets the switch. Once you get that switch
in here, turns the quarter on Stewart, and now in 2019, Ionescu.
For Sabrina form.
Clark, step back 3. That first 3-pointer is Lainey Hamilton. Throws team from the field. Cross-court pass, Samuelson a corner 3. Here's Stewart on a step back. And more that she scored on Tuesday. Pre-COVID and had a stand-up. She was a huge part of that. It over. And Thames
Pat that
Stewart, contested look.
All offense in this league because the league right now.
Boykic, tough. Wheeler, kick out. Here's Lexi Hull.
He picked up 2 quick fouls in the first.
That might be a first. Clark finds some space. Kennedy Burke, a former.
Erica Wheeler on the top of the floor. Kelsey.
That's a tough look. And Wheeler right. Melissa Smith through.
That's a good defensive.
That is it. Burke gets around Smith to the rim and a Vandersloot pulls up, driving into Ionescu, using the other. Ionescu from the mid-range. Whole corner 3. She knocked
that all year. The impact their venues. Sell tickets because there's a demand. People change the way they look at women's. 5 players in this league have earned 47. We're first team. We should be grateful that somebody like Caitlin.
Denied as Mitchell gets inside. And are so talented, so entertaining. Here's Wallace off balance, draws.
With Christy Wallace, Telly, Bubba, part of the Opals.
Friendly?
No.
That's Fever Ben. Jones Boston able to take advantage of it. Ionescu off back.
On the nail with Kelsey Mitchell.
And Jones high-low, it's Stewart.
Smaller lineup, Katie Lou Samuelson at.
Everything running through Stewart so far. A 9-point lead back they've led by is Boston on Jones. Boston ducks in. Leaves it back for Stewart or launches.
He's a good screener. She can.
WNBA 5 years later. And here is Lainey Hamilton, the step. And I'm not sure she gets it up here tonight.
Everyone else to be MVP of the league.
Against Indiana. Let's see if Caitlin Clark can't get Samuelson mid-range shot.
Managing it all very well. And her the other night.
Early Big was born back in August. This will send John Quill Jones to the foul against Washington, and New York needed every. 3 rebounds, a couple of fouls, still look like Benley finds some space.
To her, let her go to work.
Jones pulls down
for the chemistry on the offensive end.
Sees the double team, leans in, bounce pass, there's Boston. So many assists. Boston the patience. And
than that, it's a great find by Caitlin.
Stewart driving into fact, Benley off balance.
For New York.
Looking to put the finishing touches set on a championship this year. As Mitchell turns on the Jets, little scoop. As number 17, Erica Wheeler. As Samuelson, deep position, lays.
Has to be good as well.
A trend your teams have as Stewart. It was Clark who got the hand in there. At least right now.
She has 4.
Into a little foul trouble in Connecticut.
Defending Katie Lou on that.
Down their first 2 shots of the third quarter. Inside for Stewart. Whistle off the ball as Wheeler.
on that.
See Clark up top. Samuelson. Smith doesn't get it off in time. It sides, and Lexi Hull will check in. Vandersloot drives on Clark, puts on the. And driving it back at Jones. Anna Banks shot 10 points. She's starting to get going a little bit. Spinning, fading, fire.
New York.
Stewart fading, fire.
She was the MVP of
a 2-point effort. Here's Stewart. Fever really tested here in the early going. He fires inside. There's Jones. To find space here on the offense.
Here's a point I want to make for work.
Mitchell catch and shoot, delivered extra pass. Vandersloot.
She said not quite, but we'll get it. Be hard to get a bunch of new players.
Baskets lately. Laney Hamilton.
Ain't possible.
Keen on second chance points as Laney came back to Indiana to start last season. I think every point guard. Here's Hull on the drive.
I like that Iverson action for.
Back Bentley into a double team. I think a pretty effective 12 minutes.
We're seeing what she can do when she stays on the.
That signature moment here in Indianapolis. Ionescu, a deep three.
To Lisa's left, who will be the new.
Mitchell drive it into a triple team, gets it, looking her way for years, and all of us.
Parade in when you can make.
And Mitchell working her way back to 100%. Working on Ionescu driving into Wheeler, off balance. Clark on the drive, gets inside.
You know, here's a difference for Kate. The speed of the game. That's an example.
And Clark. And Fag Bentley, rookie out of Germany, getting her first. Vandersloot left alone. It's on 3 shots here tonight. Clark, step back 3.
Back-to-back national.
Crowd on their feet. Vivish.
Anticipation or the expectation transform in
23. So they've cut. And Berger is fouled by
the rim, and then the extra rotation.
Got vision like that. There's a 9-second differential as the size advantage on Mitchell. Leaves it.
Sprint. Well, let's run this.
Bounces in the.
Shots open for everyone else. So even if
we know Kelsey, she can impact the game more as she.
Smith's been quiet tonight. Hamilton wide open. And no look. Stewart foul.
And in space. Acrobatic finish by Stewart.
Pass to Boston, who waits. Side, Jonquel Jones is home free. Sets up Clark.
Of New York has been an issue on the front line.
They have opened up here with the first 7 points.
To force that.
She'll be done. Ionescu launches. Fever do have last year an overtime loss as Indiana looking at a similar task. Jones, beautiful find. Ionescu the 4th quarter. As fifth. And right back in, Will Jones, the MVP in 2020.
Against 2 of the top 3 teams.
3 posts for Smith.
Your teammates, you're going to learn a lot about your son Tuesday night with a back to. And for Phoenix, available right now, but I thought Phoenix at all for Indiana.
It's important to keep into context here yourselves out.
Yeah, it's going to take some time. Part of the timing, the rhythm of your offense, and it takes some time for that to happen.
Lou Samuelson, semi-fact. Smith driving the base. Has to hoist. Smith pulled it down. Took 16 more shots than Indy here tonight. It has been a near spin at their typical level. And Boston.
Season went on last year.
As Vandersloot finds some space. Not be a success.
You need to know how. You're the reigning MVP of the league.
What a night for the Liberty here from Indianapolis as Berger off balance, 2nd year in the WNBA as
Good, right? Come together.
And they went toe-to-toe. So more large portions of her Iowa.
In the 4th quarter. Indiana never. Clark will.
11 points in the second half. Had 20 points on a night where everyone was rookie. As Thorpe Bentley had it blocked on the other end. Timeout, except you can't huddle. You can advance. Oh, another corner.
Sideline out of bounds, baseline out.
Saxon steps into it. See, you just see them.
Right, they have won at the highest level. Elite level athletes.
Like they were at the beginning of last season, but
Tails for Indiana with a young.
By Indiana, Berger comes up with the steal. Much bigger picture here. Survey, there was one unanimous answer. As Deutjitz, as they Liberty win it 102 to quarter early here in the 3rd. Stewart fading, fire.
Only championships at UConn. 4 times she was the MVP of
Games against the Fever last year, including a 42-point effort. Here's Stewart. And the Fever really tested here in the early going. Laney fires inside. There's Jones.
6'6", wide open at the rim.
Point opener. She struggled to find space here on the off.
Well, I think for Indiana to get back in this, here's a point I want to make for defense and try to get some of your actions to work.
Mitchell catch and shoot, deflected. Jones pulls it down. Stewart extra pass. Vandersloot.
Change of pace, the speed, the cuts. She said not quite, but we'll get it. She's saying we don't have the timing down right. It'd be hard to get a bunch of new players.
Stops here on the defensive end. They're just trading baskets lately. Laney Hamilton.
Everything. She scored in every way possible.
They've outscored Indiana by 16 on second chance points as Laney
Erica Wheeler,
who came back to Indiana to start last season wing. Something I think every point guard. In 2 bodies, Indiana swing it. Here's Hole on the drive.
Austin down the court. I like that Iverson action for.
Back Bentley into a double team. He's had, I think, a pretty effective 12 minutes.
It was quick. And now we're seeing what she can do when she stays on the.
Still looking for that signature moment here in Indianapolis.
It's not good for Caitlin.
Ionescu, a deep 3.
Dan Jensen sitting to Lisa's left, who will be the new.
Mitchell drive it into a triple team, gets it. Has had almost all the attention looking her way for years, and all of us.
Oh, I think she's going to have additional space to operate in. When you can make, it's going to open up the floor.
And Mitchell, Team USA, working her way back to 100%, working on
the floor.
Ionescu driving into Wheeler, off balance.
3-point line is Sabrina.
Where they are up by 20. Clark on the drive, gets inside.
Right. You know, here's a difference for Kate. Shoulders past somebody, you can score, but the speed of the game, that's an turns the corner.
And Clark, and there's Fagbenle into the passing lane. And Fagbenle, Leonie Fiebisch, rookie out of Germany, getting her for 1. Vandersloot left alone. There's 2 points on 3 shots here tonight. Clark, step back 3.
Not out in my day. Back-to-back national.
In Indianapolis, as the crowd on their feet, Fiebisch.
Is it the anticipation or the expectation, especially with everything that she has helped the league transform in?
This one, Indiana's trailed by as many as 23, so they've cut
opportunity here.
Signature pass, swing at Berger, and Berger is fouled by
job with the drift pass because she caught it underneath the rim, and then the extra rotation.
Speed and the athleticism, Debbie, but when you've got vision like that, 11 here, and they do get the 2-for-1. There's a 9-second differential. Laney Hamilton has the size advantage on Mitchell, leaves it.
Caitlin Clark right there, hold it up. Everybody sprint. Let's run this.
Clark bounces in.
Paying attention to Caitlin, that leaves open shots open for everyone else. So even if just want to go along with her 9 points.
We know, Kelsey, she can impact the for her as her time gets more. As she
3-point deficit down to 11. Smith's been quiet tonight. Pass. Laney Hamilton wide open. No look. Stewart's foul.
New York playing with pace and in space. What an acrobatic finish by Stewart.
Shot clock down to 7. Entry pass to Boston, who waits. Inside, Jonquel Jones is home free. Wheeler sets up Clark.
Well, the length of New York has been an issue on the front line.
Liberty have opened up here with the first 7 points.
Designed by Sandy Brondello to force that
for 5th. One more, she'll be done. Ionescu launches.
Over above 500 last year.
Fever do have accomplishments last year, an overtime loss as in the extra session. Indiana looking at a similar task. Jones, beautiful find. Ionescu, 12 points to start the fourth quarter. As Hamilton switch on to Smith. And right back in. Stewart's won a pair of MVPs. Jonquel Jones, the MVP in 2020. Battle in Vegas coming up.
The first 4 games are against 2 of the top 3 teams.
3 posts for Smith.
You're going to learn a lot about your teammates. You're going to learn a lot about your. I had Phoenix at Vegas on Tuesday night with a back double figures and break off a play at any time. And for Phoenix, Diane with a toe injury, so she's not available right now. But I thought Phoenix, so the schedule's not easy at all for Indiana.
Cleveland's with a tougher schedule than Indiana, so it's important to keep into context here. Group that's still trying to figure themselves out.
Yeah, it's going to take some time. Well, you know, there's a chemistry part in the timing, the rhythm of your offense come together. And it takes some time for that to happen.
With numerous new players, Katie Lou Samuelson, semi-fact 100% health to start the year. Smith driving the base.
That top foot. Everything.
Shot clock down to 2. Wheeler has to hoist. Smith pulled it down. And Connecticut took 16 more shots than Indy's taken 13 more shots than the Fever have here tonight. It has been a near full to where the Liberty haven't been at their typical level. Then underneath, the switch on to Burke. And Boston.
We made a significant improvement as the season went on last year.
18 wins. As Vandersloot finds some the goal. Anything less would not be a success.
With the new eyes coming to the league, you need to know how. Defensive performance by Breanna Stewart, the reigning MVP of the league.
What a night for the MVP. What a night for the Liberty here. A nearly flawless performance here from Indianapolis as Berger off balance. She comes out of IU. This is her second year in the WNBA as
well, they should, right? Come together.
2 of the top point guards in the Big Ten. They went toe-to-toe. Some fan base that didn't like her all that much for large portions of her Iowa.
Cut it to 11, and they went on that late run here in the fourth quarter. Indiana never takes some time, and certainly Caitlin Clark will.
Fever never got closer than 11 points in the second half. It was a similar story in Connecticut. She had 20 points on a night where everyone was set off night. She's impactful, even as a rookie. As Thornton. Bentley had it blocked on the other end. In the final 2 minutes, a timeout, except you can't huddle. You can advance. And as the season continues, another call.
To be good in those aspects of the game. Sideline out of bounds, baseline out. Ball called set.
Saxon steps into it. They had the second best offensive efficiency. You just see them. Breanna Stewart.
That's a core group that knows how to win, right? They have won at the highest level because there are highly competitive, elite level athletes.
They're not figuring out the chemistry like they were at the beginning of last season, but 2024.
Larger details for Indiana with a young.
The defense there by Indiana. Berger comes up with the steal. Go the way the Fever wanted it to. A much bigger picture here. In the annual GM survey, there was one unanimous answer with 100% Indiana Fever. As Doig into triple digits as they Liberty in that fourth quarter. Liberty winning 102 to